Hello, welcome to CHRO Club. I'm Pooja Bothra, Associate Editor at ATHR World, and today I'm joined by Srinivas PM. He is the VP and Head HR of FMCG giant, Procter & Gamble, also known as P&G. So I'm really happy to have you here. Srini, I'd like to straight ask you that as emerging technologies, automation, hybrid working is changing and completely transforming workplaces. How at P&G are you designing talent journeys?
First of all, very warm welcome, Pooja. Thank you for flying in to Procter & Gamble office in Mumbai, and it's an honor to be part of your CHRO club. At P&G, employees are the most important assets, and we believe that employees are at the center of everything that we do, right? Just like a consumer moments of truth, we have employee moments of truth, which we continue thrive to win via the superior employee value equation, right? So for our culture, we believe in two principles. One is care and co-creation. Care and co-creation is to ensure we provide opportunities from day one for employees so that they can be developed and they can create the impact they want. Second is care and co-creation is about building the skill sets so that they can do meaningful work and they can attain their career growth. Care and co-creation to nurture inspiring, inclusive, and empathetic leaders for future. As we all know, every individual has unique needs, and with the rapid changes like you mentioned about hybrid working and many others, it is imperative that the managers sit with the employees to create a solution which is individualized, ensuring that they are able to bring their authentic self to work and create the impact they want. So I feel that managers, we lay a lot of emphasis on how we develop managers. And in P&G, you need to be a good people leader to be successful. So the capability building for managers is paramount for us. Flexibility has always been there in P&G, in their work schedules, work days. So if every individual has their own unique need, and if every manager can unlock that for individuals, then I think we will be winning employee moments of truth.
That's really wonderful. And I feel care and co-creation are very powerful words. So, I want to go a little bit more deeper into understanding P&G's philosophy around care and co-creation. So beginning with care. So for an organization of your size, to have care at the core of your talent philosophy is no easy feat. So how do you kind of create and design initiatives for this care?
Great question, Pooja. So care is a very holistic phenomenon in P&G, and it's everywhere, right? It is not only for the organization. So let me start with our organization design. We have business units, and under which there are categories. And the names of these categories are fabric care instead of laundry, hair care instead of shampoo, baby care instead of diapers. So this is care for our brands and hence for our consumers. So it is truly holistic, right? Now let me go and dwell deeper into organization care. There are two vectors of care for organization. One, care for personal and professional development via skill development so that they are able to grow and meet their career aspirations successfully. Second part is care for well-being of individuals and their families. Here we have an intertwined four elements which we focus on. Number one is mental well-being. Second, physical well-being. Third, financial well-being. And finally, work-life well-being. And work-life well-being, again, attributes to flexibility that we give to employees. Here, I feel, to answer your second part, managers play an important role, correct? And when we design things also centrally, we try to keep, the care aspect very much in the forefront. For example, we've all gone through this disruption of COVID, right, which was unexpected and unprecedented, I guess. So during that time in the journey, there was this announcement for COVID vaccinations which were done. And as every organization, we were also trying to ensure we are able to get the vaccinations done for our employees and their families. And we, in fact, converted this very office to a COVID vaccination center where employees and their families could come and get vaccinated. Not only here, Pooja, but we also converted a lot of our plants and sales offices into COVID vaccination centers so that our employees and their families, the near and dears, could get the vaccination. So that's what I think we stand for care, and that's what we brought to life with multiple initiatives. And that is one of the examples that I wanted to share with you.
No, it's interesting, and it's very refreshing and warm. So, you also mentioned a very important point that you have managers who help you drive these care initiatives. And that brings me to my next question, that for any strategy to get executed, there is a bridge that you need to cross, which is really tough. You can make best of plans, but to actually have them working on the ground is a question mark. So how are you ensuring that there is adoption of these initiatives that you're running under care? And you've mentioned all the 4 pillars, from physical well-being to mental well-being and the other 2 pillars. So how are you managing that?
Yeah, so very, very integral part of how we do things here. So in P&G, everything starts with insights. And here, insights are obtained from people, right? So as we develop our organization strategy, in line with the business and organization priorities, we spend a lot of time getting these insights from the employees. So once we get those insights, we design programs. And the most important element is we enroll the leaders. The leaders play an important role to co-creating that organization strategy. Post leaders co-creating it, they play a leadership role and role modeling and bringing it down to the next level, which is the managerial level, where we build the capability and also enroll them to get those insights into initiatives. And then it percolates down to the organization. Like any product initiative, we have organization initiative master plan. So it's a full year master plan to see which initiative, which program, which policy needs to change, at what time, and what are the steps that are required before we change that. And once the initiative is also implemented, we take feedback so that we can course correct if there is any requirement to do so. And importance is leadership role modeling, right? So that is very, very critical. And let me take an example with the recent ICC World Cup, right? So once the Cricket World Cup tenure was announced, I'm a cricket buff. So is my 13-year-old son. So we said, okay, we'll watch the India-Sri Lanka match in Mumbai. So I said, fine, done. 2 weeks before the match, I got to know that a CEO of Fabricare Global is coming to India for a market work. I said, okay, but then it didn't happen in Mumbai. It was supposed to be in Delhi. So for which I had to fly to Delhi. Somehow I caught hold of the person who was making the agenda and ensured that the meeting happens in the morning from 8 to 9. And then post 9, I took the flight back to Bombay. Good, the flight was on time. Reached here, went to school. He finished the school and then took him and went to the Wankhede Stadium to watch the cricket match. Here, I think as CHRO, I might implement a lot of policies, but I think it was important for me to role model the flexibility that the company is giving. Second, as an employee, I won the moment of truth for myself. Like I experienced the policy and I lived through it. And finally, the best part, as a dad, I could spend that 8 hours with my son, not only watching cricket, and of course we won the match, but we were talking many other things and got to know him more that day, I felt.
Yeah, and you were a role model because you did not break your promise, because that would be devastating and would be such a bad lesson. So, what I understand is that if you give the people what they want, they will take it and, they will be a part of it. But generally, what are the parameters that you use to assess the success of HR function?
Yeah. So again, A very, very good question, and how do we really measure it, right? So for me, all the organization initiatives are in service of business, and it has to meet both the business and organization measures, right? But I think more importantly for us, I think we measure ourselves against the design of the program meeting the unmet needs of the employees, right? Whether it met or not. Whether our communication was very clear in the policies and initiatives we launched, that employees understood what we are trying to do. Whether the enrollment in the programs were high or not, right? Hence, holistic feedback about our initiatives, our programs, our policies is more important for me. And taking this constructive feedback via managers and by HR team is imperative for us. Again, here, one of the examples I can take where I feel honored and be blessed to be part of Procter & Gamble was one program called Lead with Care, where this program is for employees who are caregivers for children with special needs.
So, talking about co-creation, how are you enabling the workforce to own their professional and personal development? Because, clearly skills are in focus and jobs are going to change and a whole lot of new skills will be required to do jobs of future.
Like I said, our employees are the greatest assets that we have, and we have to ensure we build the skills in them so that we are able to have a agile, empowered, and accountable organization. So let me start with career co-creation, right? A career co-creation has 3 steps. One is reflect, explore, and partner. We strongly believe that individuals have to have a strong awareness and reflection on what is their personal mission, what do they want to achieve, where are they on skills, and how do they kind of bridge that gap or improve to meet their personal mission. And everybody has a personal goal, and also what matters to them at that moment. Because there are so many things that are changing in your professional and personal life that it's always dynamic. So post that self-reflection, which is a robust exercise we ask our employees to do, they then come and meet the manager to explore opportunities. Then they partner, because it's not just one discussion. It's a full cycle of could be taking 6 months to 1 year. And that's a partnership that the manager does with the individual and continuously work upon what needs to be done. So therefore, it's a full cycle where we look at first reflecting, exploring, and partnering. And it continues to keep on going till the time the aspirations are met. So that's about career co-creation. The second part about skill development, I think for our technicians to our managers across our domain of workforce, we have multiple ways of how we kind of develop skills.
So you are a legacy HR leader in a legacy organization. I think 23 years. You've also worked in India offshore also, and you've seen multiple cycles of HR evolution. I mean, at this point of time, we think that this is the biggest of all with AI and generative AI and data and analytics. But I'm sure you've seen multiple evolution. So what have been some of your biggest learnings in these, multiple cycles that you've gone through?
So for Pooja, it's only 23 years. I enjoy the work that I'm doing, and if I can continue to contribute, that is amazing, right? So first, I think everything is evolving around us, like you rightly said, workforce, technology, and it's a part of evolution that is happening. I firmly believe that we need to continuously adapt to the unique needs. The fundamental and the core is pretty much there. We need to really look at how do we really dial up, dial down, renew, redesign certain initiatives, policies, solutions, so that we are able to meet employees' needs in line with the business context. I would like to quote Mr. Richard, who was the CEO of P&G in 1947, who said, "You take away my plants, you take away my brands, you take away my money, and you take away my people, I will fail." But if he said, "If you take away my plants, you take away my money, and you take away my brands, but leave people, I will create a P&G in a decade." It is so relevant till today, right? So I have a couple of things to add on. Dave Woolrich, has this 3B framework, which is about developing true value equation, where every employee feels that they believe in the promise that the company is making. So the 3B is believe, belong, become. The second aspect is all about HR professionals need to be more relevant to the business, meaning they need to understand what is happening in the business, what should be the right organization design, how do we put in capabilities so that we are in service of the business. That's the second aspect. Finally, when disruption happens, we in P&G just not accept it, but we lead to ensure we are able to create a positive impact. So we call this as constructive disruption. Those are a couple of my thoughts on this subject.
Nice, very nicely said. You have multiple business under P&G organization, the brand. So how do you ensure that the subcultures that are getting developed align to the brand's main philosophy?
Yeah, so great point, Pooja. At first, everybody's a P&Ger. Then comes your subdivisions of functions, locations, and categories. The core foundation is based on PVP, which is purpose, values, and principles. That then evolves to be it to do the right things that we do. That is always take the right way to do anything in our business and in organization. And certain things like employee equality and inclusion and respecting for all. These are all the elements which come in along with PVP. So I think with this fundamental culture in the company, we are able to drive consistency. So as you rightly said, I have worked in India, I have worked in Singapore, I have worked in China, Australia, Southeast Asia, Jakarta, pretty much across Asia Pacific. And whenever I went into these markets, one thing was common, which is the culture. And the people processes were embedded into this culture. So therefore, we have been able to embrace consistent moments of truth for all employees across the company.
I think the character becomes so profound that whether you are a P&G employee in China or in India, there is something, that some thread, that some commonalities do emerge in the employees. I understand that. So you also mentioned inclusivity, and we've got multiple research that directly connects inclusivity with the bottom line and its impact on the bottom line. So how at P&G are you, let's say, breaking the glass ceiling for inclusivity?
So very relevant question, Pooja. So P&G's purpose as a company is to serve consumers. We are here to touch and improve consumers' life. So we serve close to more than 5 billion consumers across India and across the world, right? To serve them, we need to understand them and understand their unmet needs and then provide superior products. To do that, we need to have the right reflection of these diverse consumers in our organization. And I think that is important. And once they are here, then they are able to understand these consumers to provide the products which are meeting their unmet needs. We believe in equality inclusion to be by the people, for the people, and of the people. So we have a lot of the people from the cohorts itself joining the core teams who design these programs so that they're part of it from the design stage.
Interesting. Srini, today there is a lot about HR playing a bigger role in business. And for that, people analytics is at the, is a cornerstone for it. But as we understand that even to date, HR is, still struggling to kind of mine data, analyze data. So what is the future with that? And how at P&G have you been able to use predictive people analytics for business
Very common question, Pusha. So, see, I believe that the organization strategy is in service of ensuring we have the right people with right capability and the right culture to deliver the business needs, right? So whatever we try to do is to ensure we are building the right capabilities in people from the time we hire them, so that we are able to flow people who are best fit for the roles, right? And we also create an inclusive environment, like I said, so that everybody can thrive and learn and grow. We do analysis so that we are able to understand how well our employees engaged, how effective are our people managers, how are initiatives running. But we strongly believe that people processes are the beginning for us, and they kind of drive everything for us.
So, thank you, Srini. You've shown a lot of care to me by giving me fabulous answers so meticulously, and even the people around here have shown so much of care. But I want to be slightly mean to you, because I'm going to put forward some difficult questions to you, which is our next round called the rapid fire round. What is your leadership style in 3 words?
It's enrolling everybody, engaging, and then empowering.
One impression that the world has about HR that you would like to change?
Okay, that business and HR are not different.
The best thing about being a CHRO in 2023?
Yeah, in this ever-evolving world, being relevant is very important.
What would you be if you were not a CHRO?
I have a passion for acting. I would have been in movies, and might be you would be seeing a Friday release of my movie if I was not CHRO.
That is why you're so comfortable in front of the camera.
Thank you for the compliment.
How do you like to learn?
Yeah, multiple ways, like I shared, but I think one of the things I'm seeing impactful is reverse mentoring.
If you could go back to school, what would you do differently?
Oh, well, I would have fun more, but on a serious note, I would have focused on debating because I think in the corporate world, that skill is that helps.
What is the one thing that you wished you had more time for?
Well, being a people champion, I would have loved to spend more time with my organization, with my people, to get more insights because time is not enough for that.
One piece of advice you would like to give freshers who are starting their career?
Learn, and have fun.
Some inspiring role models that you've had in your life?
Oh, yeah, well, my inspiring role model is at home. My dad, Mr. P. Dwarkanath, he's a legend in HR. 40 years plus in consumer.
He's a role model for all of us.
Yes, he's a legend in HR in India. And I always learned being humble from him, learning agility and being an employee champion.
So what do you do for fun that adds spice in your life?
Oh, well, spending time on vacation with my family. Recently, spice is taking my teenager daughter for shopping for me so that I'm relevant in my dress.
That was wonderful. So thank you for joining us, Srini. It was lovely talking to you. And once again, thank you for joining the CHRO Club.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you so much.